everyone, welcome to another edition of the What If Roundtable. The real what if is the friends we made along the way. I'm Marsico X, and joining me, as always, are Sophie B.
Hello.
And Haverok.
Hello.
Thank you all for joining us today, and if you are wanting to listen or watch the archive again in future, do check out our Up on the Lookout channel. I shall leave a chat. I shall leave a link to it in the chat right now, and you will be able to go there. And I shall hopefully be able to pin it if I can. Yeah, stay. Did it work? Is it pinned?
Yeah,
Is it pinned?
it's posted. I don't know if it's pinned.
There we go.
It's pinned.
There we go. There we go. Nice. So you can go there and subscribe because we did hit 1,000 subscribers over there. So yay!
Huzzah!
Now we just need the watch time. So there we go. Hopefully, when the Dragon Ball movie comes out, we'll have more to talk about. So, or when we get more information. But anyway, for those of you who are new to the channel, first of all, I'd like to say welcome to you. Hope you are having a very good day. And this What If Roundtable is where we talk to you lot, and you help support the channel with super chats and suggestions. And generally, we do come up with quite a few what ifs that do end up becoming long-running series. Certainly.
Yeah.
We've had some good classic ones here. And even if it's not one specific one, a lot of requests that we do get, we do pay attention to from the chat. So we have our moderators ready standing by, just having a chat. So even if you're not able to do a super chat, we do pay attention to the actual chat. So do remind yourself. And
Just
once again, it wouldn't be a Marsico X stream if my voice was a bit on the low side. So,
And I was too loud.
Oh, okay. Well, I shall adjust that accordingly. I can do that on my end.
Adjust me a little bit.
Okay.
It's a classic. It's a classic joke.
Yeah, it's okay. All right, okay, so let's get on with proceedings with Viper Phoenix. And Viper Phoenix starts us off with, what if Kid Goku had Kami save King Piccolo? How would the story possibly differ if both Piccolo and King Piccolo are both still alive? It'd be quite interesting in that sense, in that, you know, Viper would not, that King Piccolo would still be there. I mean, he'd have to be really put into line almost by, you know, not wanting to try and destroy the world, you know? That would be a big thing to try and stop him from doing, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Apologies. I had a phone call I had to take. I'm just now back.
No,
What was the question?
It was, what if Kid Goku had Kami save King Piccolo? So it's like, now, Kami, I know that you really don't like the guy, but can you spare him? He would say sorry if asked. Goku, you have absolutely no context in the situation you have with my other half.
I find it hilarious because I think that Goku was a little bit too enraged over the whole Krillin being dead thing during the King Piccolo arc to consider sparing him. But if he spared King Piccolo, the real difficulty comes in the fact that if he spared King Piccolo would have no reason to produce Piccolo Jr.
Yeah.
Now, and if they both existed, well, that removes a lot of the foundation of Piccolo's character of deciding whether or not he is King Piccolo reborn or if he's his own separate entity, and whether or not he can grow beyond as a character what his father / past life, whatever you want to consider it as, was. And so it becomes more of a generic son to an evil villain trope, less so than the actual existential quandary that he's faced in the actual show.
Yeah. Also, if we don't have Junior, I think it's it's the sound.
I mean, the sound is kind of crucial. There we go. But we won't play the entire sound because there is an avenue of hope there. But yeah, Dark Snake comes in with a $50 super chat first. Thank you. I meant to actually start off with that one, so sorry, Dark Snake. And it's like, this is actually for Son Chichi. I am the hope of the universe. I am the answer to all living things that cry out for peace. I am the protector of the innocent. I am the light in the darkness. I am truth. Ally to good, nightmare to you. I am Son Chichi, and I am a Super Saiyan. And like, that is if what if people want what if Chichi was a Saiyan, and we will get to that probably in the next year or two. We probably will, but first we got to do what if Chichi was a Z Fighter. We got to do that one first.
Yeah.
And then of course Dark Snake comes in with 100 hundo super chat with the abridged version. I am the hope of the omniverse. I am the light bulb in the darkness. I am the bacon in the fridge that cry out for things, all living things that cry out in hunger. I am the alpha and the omega. I am the terror that flats in the night. I am Son Chichi, and I am a super Saiyan. I don't believe it. Chichi has truly done it. I've become the one and only legendary Super Saiyan. Right? Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you tell you there for a second. What? And Finn goes, and there it is. And suddenly I keep being reminded of my failures. Abridged quotes never get old.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Thank you very much, Dark Snake. It's always good to remind yourself of the classics. Alright. Viper Phoenix back at it again as Yamcha. Hey guys, meet my parents. 2 actual wolves. Frieza and Goku. Nice to meet you. Mama Wolf. Oh, I like them. Oh, it's the whole package. It just reminds me of like a Friday Night Funkin' thing. Of like, oh hey gorgeous, yeah, over the oh my, he's an absolute big how can be? Well, I have to stop you there, madam. Clearly I find you extremely attractive. And it's like this big beefcake boyfriend Keith. And he's just, oh I'll have to stop you right there. I'm being very respectful because I really love you. I feel my shy. I'll keep the whole package. He's great. Oh, I love those animations. And yeah, Gobi, you want that to be canon. I mean, hey, we might do a little reference to that in Revelation F. You know. Just like kind of they were a bit primal. But, okay. Viper Phoenix. Random punk flirting with Gine. Kid Kakarot punches the guy. Stay away from my mama! Bardock's ghost. Ah, that's my boy. Nice. I mean, honestly. The ghost
I don't know. I mean, I think that Gine would punch the punk herself.
I know.
That's the first thing.
I
Other
know.
thing, I don't know if Bardock would mind that much of Gine being with someone else. But there are Saiyans.
I think it's just punching the guy. I think that's just...
Yeah, I know.
That's
I know,
the thing.
like, I know, like, you know, like punching the guy is always an answer, but in Dragon Ball.
Yeah, because Goku likes to hit people really, really hard.
Yeah.
I mean...
Honestly, though, knowing Kid Goku and Kid Kakarot and their complete obliviousness to social cues, they probably wouldn't even realize that somebody was flirting with their mom.
Yeah.
And considering that Saiyan culture is a bit different than human ones anyways, Gine probably wouldn't even realize.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, that would have been a nice little, like, allusion to something like that. One day, like, Gine goes earth shopping. Somebody flirts with her, and she absolutely no idea what it is.
Excuse me,
like...
is it something wrong with your eye? Why are you winking? Like, is it dangerous? Do you need help?
It's like...
I could totally imagine her like getting back to Grandpa Gohan's one day and just being like, so many men were acting very, very awkward in town while I was shopping today.
and then Gohan would be, Grandpa Gohan would be blushing. It's like, well, there's a lot of things that you don't know, my child.
I think they lost their dogs because they were whistling, you know.
Oh my. Oh dear. Oh goodness. Well, my dear, let's just say if I was about 80 years younger, then then you'd what? Let's move on to something else.
You know, when I adopted you and Kakarot, I did not realize that I would actually be having to have the talk with the both of you.
I thought having the talk with human children would be bad enough, but a complete difference to Saiyans. Oh dear.
Since you had a son already, I assumed you knew, but...
Oh, alright. Viper again. If you guys had to remake DBZ and the like around another character and make them the main person, who would you choose and why? Well, I would say Gohan. Well, Gohan.
Yeah.
Actually do
Gohan.
what DragonBallZ was meant to do.
Yeah.
That's what it was meant to do. It was meant to be the Gohan show. But,
Yep.
you know, it's...
I would try to remake Boo so it rhymes with Gohan and not revive Goku. Have him here, do his Super Saiyan 3 stuff, but like make the ending land for Gohan.
I mean, yeah, honestly, totally not Mark's remake of the Boo Saga is actually pretty good. So, go and check his channel when he rewrites the Boo Saga around Gohan. It's really good.
Wait. Now, which YouTuber was this?
Totally
Mark's.
not Mark.
Oh, it's Mark's. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I remember watching that video because I thought you said Mark, and I was like, wait a minute, did I hear that right? And I was like, yeah, he did rewrite it.
Yeah.
Yes, Hercule has a YouTube channel now.
Yeah, it was a good one. He does some pretty good stuff. I've been watching his stuff on Hunter x Hunter since I don't actually read or watch it myself, and it's very interesting seeing his take on that.
Especially since he's doing it blind. So he's in with a lot of people that are new to Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, Mark is one of my favorite people on the world, and like, I had a breakfast with this guy, and we couldn't have less different breakfast tastes.
He's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, he's really good. He
hates chocolate.
He hates chocolate.
Yeah, how can you hate chocolate and pizza
I take back
and
what I
sweets
said.
and sweets? Yeah.
Wait, did you say he hates pizza?
And sweets. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he's dead to me now. I'm sorry, Mark, if you ever see this, but nobody who hates pizza, I mean, I just can't abide it. Chocolate and pizza? No.
He's still one of my favorite people on the earth. He's like listen, think with Mark IRL is like he's like a hyperactive puppy man, and that's wonderful.
Yeah, he had a lot of fun at SeoCon.
Yeah.
He definitely enjoyed the experience.
Yeah.
Alright, Red Dragon. Vegeta. Kakarot, behold the fruits of my training! Goku has feelings a sense of dread. Vegeta powers up and changes his hair and eyebrows into violet. You now face Super Saiyan Vine! Do you get it? Because violet-colored grapes. Goku, eyes slowly widen upon realizing and then freaks out. Ah! Get away from me! Vegeta grins evilly. Yatta.
Still better than the new form from Heroes, and am I right?
Oh, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Evolution controlled Berserk. That's all.
Oh god.
It's like
It's an actual trademark
Heroes.
that they did.
Hero, stop it! Be stupid! I want you to have stupid transformations, not stupid names for transformations.
The trademarking here for these transformations has gotten so out of hand. It's just
Gobi, I forgive Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black because you can say it so well. The way you can say it makes up for it. But oh my god, just absolutely.
Yeah, like the thing
God.
is that with name like this, Super Duper Saiyan seems reasonable right now.
Yeah, at this point, Super Duper Saiyan really does seem reasonable. Hell, even Ultra Saiyan sounded reasonable.
Yeah.
But of course, they went with Ultra Instinct. So it's like, I mean, you'd think they'd be coming up with like the complexity, or rather just the inanity of the names has gotten such You're
Oh.
expecting like a Kingdom Hearts 2.8 final mix, whatever type scenario to happen where you just got 50 million words jammed into one name for a transformation.
Yeah, Gobi, I don't think he'd get the link between rosé and grapes. I don't think he would be able to fathom that, to be honest. All right.
Wait a minute, wine's made from grapes? No!
What's the matter, Kakarot? Are you whining about it? Oh no, I'm doing the thing I hate! No! Oh man, I can't wait to be at a convention again and just like talk nonsense to people in public. It's great. That'll be great.
Yeah, the convention scene is definitely something that is.
That's why you hire us for 2 hours weekly.
There you
So
go.
you can take
There you
notes as
go.
well.
There we go. We get our fix. We get our fix with you guys.
Yeah.
And you folks.
Yeah.
Dark Snake. What if Ranch Goten and Trunks' school uniforms would look like if they went to school? I imagine they'd go to public school. I imagine that probably that Chichi would be pretty much more relaxed with Goten going to public school. But
if they went to public school, you could always go for the typical shonenism and do the Gokuran and the Seifuku.
oh yeah, Trunks would look great in the Seifuku.
Oh my god!
And with Lucia,
That's how he-
say, oh my god, guys, I would totally rock it. You know, I just walk it down and say, "Oi, punk, you got a problem with me wearing a Seifuku? I can rock this maybe better than you can. I can rock this better than your sister." It's like
I like the idea of like Vegeta's in charge of picking up the uniforms, and he grabs the wrong one, and Trunks trying to like make the best of it is just like, yeah. And at first he's kind of like, people are probably gonna make fun of me, but then he gets to school, and when people try, he's like, hey, shut your trap! You get over here and fight me if you want to diss on my Seifuku.
oh man, I mean,
and then of course Goten would wind up inadvertently becoming the cinnamon roll that everybody loves at the school.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I just found something. It's a little bit on the topic. I was looking for if there are any clothes in Orange Star High School, and I found out that Toyotaro drew Orange Star High School gym teacher as Freddie Mercury.
That is. Oh wow. That.
and I think he got some respect points from me.
Makes sense.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can imagine like at like high school Ranch when she's 6'1", like going to the gym and like say, Ranch, you're like in the gym all the time. Why are you doing it? Is it to get pretty boys? And it's like, and there's a Rumi comic from My Hero of like, oh, I don't want the muscles to look pretty for boys. I want to get muscles to punch bears in the face. And I'm like, oh, that is good. I want Ranch to say something like that. No. I just like the idea of being able to punch grizzly bears in the face. It's like,
Oh my god!
and that would actually be hotter. It's like, oh, okay.
Miruko and Ranch would be besties, like hands down. Like,
Oh man, like
muscle women unite.
like 6'1". Ranch is a 6'1", like Amazonian goddess, like, and just wants to like. I just imagine again her and Raditz going out drinking, like just like two huge behemoths having like tankards of mead, just like having a good old laugh of a time. you know, Ranch, I was, admittedly, I was kind of sad that I was going to have a daughter, but knowing how you turned out, I couldn't be any happier. Cheers! Boom! Like
I think
having
she'd
that
slap
moment.
him for that, and then say you're
Oh,
forgiven.
and it's like, you know what? I totally deserve that. Because they're drunk. I absolutely deserve that. I just had to be honest with you because you're my daughter and I love you. And relationships will be built on honesty. There you go. All right, Podo. Since you suggested I get a bassier mic, I wanted to ask you, do you have any specific brands in mind so I know what up to say for? Audio-Technica AT2020. That will suit you down to the ground for a long time.
Oh yeah, the AT2020 is a very reliable semi-pro, and as far as USB microphones go, it's probably the best you can get without upgrading to full-blown XLR. It's what I use.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So, sound quality you get from Sophie. So there you go. So I would say that's certainly a very good example. Okay. Next one. Dark Snake. In the What If Bulma married Goku after they find a way to defeat Buu, Goku leaves his family to better himself with Shin. I think it's gonna have to take that, because the first time around, Goku got extremely lucky after having the talk. This time, yeah, he's gonna have to make active, as my wife Ellie would say, actions speak louder than words. He's gotta have to find some way of like delivering himself up to being something better. To be honest, so I think that's gonna have the way it's gonna have to go.
Also, him and Shin would have to go to a group therapy.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Goku for being more honest with his wife, and Shin for actually rebuilding confidence.
Yeah.
There you go. Gobi.
Shin needs some confidence.
Yeah, you telling me. Gobi. What if Saiyan hair was alive instead of being made just out of keratin? Like uncanny living tissue emulating the appearance of hair similar to Kiseiju.
Oh gosh. Gobi.
Or Medusa from Marvel. They could use it as a weapon. Can you imagine like having a character with a Raditz like hairstyle, a Saiyan character using their hair as a weapon? That would be cool.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, it would be interesting. I think you'd wind up with a situation kind of similar to the sort of variety you get in like Jutsu and stuff like that in Naruto. Characters like Jiraiya, like you'd be able to, if you were capable of manipulating it in like intense ways and adjusting like its toughness and stuff like that into needles or extending its length or stuff like that. You've got some crazy wacky Sindel from Mortal Kombat stuff going on. It would be interesting, and it's in that same realm of like unique sort of styles and designs that Dragon Ball kind of had,
Yeah.
And I think it would be cool, so that it's not always boiling down to, hey, this guy's got a higher number than the other guy and punches extra hard.
Yeah, ultimately, yeah. All right, Toon's out. Toon's out with a $50 super chat. Thank you very much, buddy. What if Saiyans gained abilities by training in certain environments? Okay. So that means if they so say for example, like Vegeta's training in the gravity chamber. Could he have some megaton punch, like being able to distort gravity? Like, he could create gravitational spheres by basically crushing his opponents into one spot.
Or acquire an elemental affinity by like training in a volcano or in the Arctic.
Everybody would know Plateau Blast and Wasteland Punch.
Yes, exactly.
Plateau Blast.
They turn their opponents to dust. Or I actually watched the first bit of The Dark Tower, that really bad movie. But
oh god,
Matthew McConaughey's mage actually has a superpower. It was like, you can't breathe. I'm like, that's good. The movie's terrible, but that's good. Like, just like, you're no longer able to breathe.
If you haven't.
And then Frieza's just like, joke's on you. Okay, no. But, basically, no, Goku trains up in the ionosphere and basically has the power to be able to, like, manipulate breath, and basically says, no, time out.
I imagine that the sheer amount of flying that they do would give them, like, ultra dense freaking skin because of the constant beating of the air pressure and the sub-zero temperatures. Like, wind shear at the kinds of speeds you'd have to be able to travel for their flight and stuff like that, wind shear and the temperature differential causes simultaneous burns and frostbite.
Yeah.
So it's like, just by being able to fly, every character who can adapt to that like would gain resistance to burns and cold.
Yeah, absolutely. And Vulcan, apparently it's your 27th birthday on Sunday, so happy birthday to you, buddy.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
All right. And Tunes Out provides a $5 super sticker with a high five. Glad you liked your answer, mate.
Nice.
That was approval. Nice. Okay. Scion Reaver. What if one of the unexplored universes had strong humans on par with the bigger players? I mean, it's not within the realms of possibility. I mean, who's to say that some humans from Universe 6 survived? Like, they left the planet when it had been scorched.
And we haven't seen 4 universes.
Yeah, exactly. We haven't seen 1, 5, 8, or
the
12.
4 strongest universes.
Yeah, we haven't seen those universes. Honestly, if they were going to do universal travel, I would like to say they go to Universe 1. That's the strongest universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to go to Universe 1 because it's an issue. But, yeah, it's not been mentioned at all. So I think Arthur, I probably have not gotten to your super chats yet. So, basically, if it's on the list, that's, we follow a list that's provided by YouTube.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Also, who says that Hermes wasn't human?
Yeah, that is very true.
Yeah.
That is absolutely correct. So, just scanning through. Arthur, Arthur, I do see your super chat right here. I do see your super chat right there. It's about what a super boo with a good boo, but we will get to yours because there have been other people that have put in before, but we will get to you. So if you could just be patient, that would be fun.
List, so
you are in the list, but I do see your one in there.
Yep.
All right, Gobi. What if Tuffle tech had been advanced to where they could utilize Dyson spheres, swarms, bubbles, and/or shells? Like a level 2 society, like a Dyson sphere being able to harness the energy of the sun.
Honestly, they would be unbeatable.
Yeah, that's pretty much like I saw the Kurzgesagt video about different levels of societies, and if you're at level 2. You are getting to that point where you can basically distort the galaxy itself. You know, you are basically you can do a lot. You can harness.
I played enough Stellaris, which is the perfect and balanced game and fair, to know how this would end.
Let me just say, does it have anything to do with Yorkshire tea?
Yeah.
Okay, Dark Snake. A while back I mentioned Launch splitting herself. What do you think life would be like for the Raditz family if it happened, and the DragonBallZ could not reverse it? How would Ranch deal with 2 moms, and who would have twins? Honestly, I think Ranch would be able to deal with it okay, because they're both sides of the same person. And, I think she'd be okay with it. But I think really with the twins, I probably think they would end up with Blue Launch.
Yeah, I do think that they would find a way to make the family dynamic work. It would basically just be like, I think it would be more or less the same. You just wouldn't have to deal with the sort of randomness going on, and Raditz would be pulling double shifts to make sure that both of his wives were satisfied.
Oh yeah, of course he would, because it's Raditz. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Alright, Gobi. What if the next Dragon Ball game included a bonus skateboarding mode like Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance for random fun?
That is so random. And
Krillin skateboard! It's like honestly, having like Krillin on a skateboard.
Yeah.
How are you doing, fellow kids?
No, Piccolo in his, car driving outfit.
Yeah.
Piccolo in his ball cap and t-shirt.
Yeah.
Come on, you need to get some A. You need to get some songs from A. Come on, you can get it on me. Tell me on the box. You need some early 2000s rock.
Oh man.
Of course, Vegeta's skateboard says Batman.
Yeah, of course it does. Of course it does. Honestly, I'd be down for that.
See, now what I really want is I want a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, except it's Son Goku's Pro Skater, and it's just all of the Dragon Ball characters in a Tony Hawk game.
Yeah, yeah, get the soundtrack from SSX3, you know, just get that. You know, just like, you know, let's go!
And Zeno does the multiversal skateboard tournament because they think it's cool.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, multiversal skateboard tournament. Okay. All right. Okay.
Tournament of Power. Everybody shows up to fight, and everybody looks at them like, "Where's your skateboards?" Wait a minute, skateboards? Yeah, didn't you know it was a skate tournament?
Oh, Shin.
Once again, Shin, you've absolutely ruined yourself and your credibility.
It would totally be Shin's fault.
Get with the program, loser.
And Jiren, tragic backstory would be that he once fell off the skateboard and bruised his knee, and
Yeah.
he doesn't trust the boards.
Yeah, and his gimmick, he just goes.
He doesn't find joy in skating.
Yes.
I am a skateboarder no more.
There you go. All right. Vandalia is in What If Chichi trained with Goku and Krillin series. Sub-story What If would be she passed with Goku when Raditz came and traveled with him on Snake Way to King Kai. So Chichi went with Goku. Probably just like an adventure just to figure out what makes Goku tick and maybe her way to get stronger. Well, it's like, well, I'm dead. I may as well just like, you know, train, get to know my husband more.
Chichi beating Princess Snake.
Oh yeah, of course. She'd make sure that Princess Snake did not touch her husband.
Princess Snake. Such interesting filler characters we used to have. I still remember the abridged stuff with
Yeah.
I want to take you down.
It's like,
nothing.
stop chasing me! Stop grunting! It's creepy!
It means I want you inside me.
Why you mean?
Oh man.
It brings me joy to be able to quote those lines to myself. And it's like, that line is me.
Just being a viewer, I feel old knowing how long it's been since that arc was.
How do you feel? I feel old for the fact that I'm like, you know, I still remember it. I still remember the line.
Sometimes like they just pop in your head. Like today,
They do.
I remembered one of my favorite ones from Cooler movies. Very simple, but like,
Oh,
you think this is Frieza? He's cooler than Frieza.
that means you
I
must
love
be
this so
ice
much.
cold.
No, that would be my father.
Oh, Gobi adds the
I
additional.
love this
No,
expression.
I don't like 4.
Oh God.
Oh man.
Okay, with that,
Let's
think
move
it's time
on.
to move on.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's move on. Okay. Papa Podo. What if the Revelation F crew met and became good friends with Granola until the time came where he'd have to meet this Captain F he had heard about? I imagine probably that Frieza would be just like, I know exactly who this person is. He's a Cerulean, but he doesn't know who I am. And I just turn Granola into a bitter, like, you know, almost like, "Ugh, I hate Frieza. If I could, I'd destroy Frieza at every single opportunity." And Frieza's just like, don't say anything. Don't say it. 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 If
But
want
you,
to meet-
Captain, are an honorable man.
Oh, this is absolutely hilarious. Oh my goodness, he is such an idiot.
What your name was again? Frieza. What? I'm an F. My name's F.
It's like, okay.
Okay, For a second there, I thought your name was Frieza. And if your name was Frieza, I'd have to kill you.
Well, before I
just
kill
imagine-
you first. What? Not before I would kill to ask you if you'd like another drink. You know
just
what? I want
imagine
to
it
actually
being
add
like-
Granola for season 2. I want to add Granola for season 2. They actually meet
I-
him.
I imagine it being like in Frozen when Olaf's doing his song and stuff. So in this case, Granola would be ranting about Frieza and stuff, and Yamcha looks at Chilai like, "I'm gonna tell him, don't you dare!"
Yeah, like
Yeah, just
like
have
we gonna-
Yamcha do it. Just like, I'm gonna tell him. And Chilai's just like, don't you dare.
honestly, we were discussing about his possible inclusion, so we'll see what we can do.
We've
like-
already alluded to him in episode
Yeah,
3.
yeah,
We already
yeah.
alluded to him, so he does
Yeah.
exist in this. I want to
Still-
include him that they do find Granola and they talk to him, and we just got to
Yeah.
give him the edgiest personality yet. Edgiest voice
Oh my
possible.
god,
But,
It's like,
he
oh
needs
my
to be
god.
voiced like Shadow the Hedgehog.
Oh my god.
but
We need to actually make
love
him
to-
really edgy.
And then, Oatmeal's
Yeah.
just like, oh, jeez, Granola, you don't need to be so...
I don't care. I really hate Frieza really badly. I really wish I got to kill him back in the day, but I never really did. I have lots of issues.
It's like... And I thought that Bardock had problems.
yeah.
I'm
I
not
would
gonna lie,
love-
Jordy boy. I've seen a lot of things. This guy, he's pure edge.
He's intense. I would give him Australian or New Zealand accent to be a little bit like
Oh, yeah, to
Like-
give him a bit more differentiation. of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
Jake Pierce actually said that sounded less edgy and more horny. It's kind of the same thing. It's kind of the same thing. It's like,
Oh my god, I want to kill Frieza so bad.
all right, okay, let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on. We're getting ourselves dug deep. Are you folks enjoying this? Just let me know in the comments if you are.
I hope that you guys are having fun with this.
At us ranting and
nonsense.
raving. Just
Because
let
I
us
will
know.
have to. I would have to sing the demonetization song.
Okay. Okay, you are. Good. Vandalia, in what if Future Pan came to warn about the cyborgs when it came to the hyperbolic time chamber? Who would you go in with? Goku, Gohan, or Vegeta? Probably with Gohan, I would say. Just to have that connection almost. And I think probably in that thing of time and space and temporal stuff, I think she'd feel safe to be able to say that you're my father. And I think Gohan would be able to comprehend that, because he seems to understand the basics of time travel, and I think he would be rational enough to say, he'd be like, oh wow, cool, I get to have a family and I have a kid. That's awesome. He knows that, oh, my life turned out okay. Oh, that's cool. He'd feel assured that everything turned out okay. That at least he was able to have a kid. So I think she'd go in with Gohan. Right.
That's nice.
Timothy Ron. What if the Galactic Patrol raised Goku? Goku would probably still be processing in the ream of paperwork. So by the time he becomes an adult, they've managed to actually clear him to be then sent to another planet to be raised. He'd be stuck in a never-ending loop of stonewalling and paperwork.
Unless someone competent, like a certain agent that rhymes with Beerus, names kinda rhymes with Beerus, might take him under his wing.
Hopefully. I mean, that's always an option. Alright, Panda Walk. What if the Dragon Ball characters are literally their name puns? Barbary a magic wand. A combo vegetable is Vegeta. Ice Cube King Cold. Well, King
We
Cold
had
would
that
have
last
to...
week.
Oh, we had that last week, but basically,
Yeah.
if they were, then basically every time I'd see Raccoon, I'd just be thinking the song of Riptide. It's just an embodiment of Cream. Ah, ooh, and the common star. Maybe oh no.
Well,
I'd be
poor
that.
gas. Poor gas.
Gas would just be like just a pile of gas. Goku would be a carrot, and Gohan would just be like uncooked rice.
bowl
uncooked
of rice.
potential. And when he becomes Super Saiyan, he becomes fresh, sticky rice. No, he becomes a fresh bowl of rice after his first night with Dell. Sticky rice.
Oh, stop it!
I had to.
Stop it!
Stop it. Oh my. Waka waka. Gobi becomes Nato.
Hashtag Masako's Lemon Grove.
Okay. Welcome everyone. Hey, it's okay. It's okay. I don't have to worry about demonetization because this gets unlisted. But then it does go on my other channel. But I don't have any monetization on that, so that's okay.
Okay.
All right, let's move on. Gobi, what if Black? Oh, by the way, we have our 5-minute warning. By the way, we got 5 minutes until we close super chats. All right. Gobi, what if Black was forced to also deal with increased appetite and struggled maintaining refined eating habits due to Goku's compulsive behaviors when eating? Well, that's a good question.
That would be great.
That's a good question, actually. You know, like he's trying to like drink tea normally, but then he gets absolutely hungry, and like Zamasu's just like, oh my goodness, you're a savage.
Dude, what the hell?
And it's like, well, Vegeta, I don't think we have to worry about this guy.
What makes you think that, Kakarot?
Because clearly, he's not had his Snickers. Because he isn't me when he's hungry. There you go.
Oh my gosh.
Joey Kent. What if Broly was sent to Earth and Goku was sent to Vampa? Well, if Goku was sent to Vampa on his own, I think he would just about be... Well, no, actually, no. He probably would die. Because he was a babe and only power level of 2.
Well, you gotta remember one major thing, and that's that something occurred on Vampa when it came to Broly, right?
Yeah.
Because the entire planet is continuously saturated in full moon radiation, blood wave radiation, essentially.
Yeah.
Which basically implies that when Broly got there, he turned into a great ape or Nozaru or whatever, and at some point the transformation internalized and reversed, right? So the same thing would have probably still happened to Kakarot, the baby Kakarot, if he wound up on Vampa, and he would have probably still been powerful enough to deal with like the Vampan natives and stuff in the same way that Broly did. He just wouldn't have the raw power potential that Broly has. He wouldn't just have the raw, unadulterated power. But I think that a baby Kakarot would still have survived, because I mean, ultimately it all comes down to, could baby Kakarot have found a way and been strong enough to kill the spider creatures and eat their eggs? Yes, that's what I think.
Yeah, because like the Embrace version, he was able to eat sick aliens. That's disgusting.
Yeah, he would go 100% savage though.
Yeah, that is very true. I mean, there'd be like, he wouldn't be a refined Bubba, let's just say that. Alright, okay. Devon, what if Trunks didn't come back after giving Goku the heart medicine? Probably, well, Trunks doesn't really do too much after he comes back, really, except being an extra pair of fists. So I imagine probably, like, because they don't really listen to him. They like spend a lot of it. The Dragon team spend a lot of time ignoring him.
The only big difference would be no Vegeta redemption. Vegeta would like go to space after the saga, probably.
Probably.
But maybe also he wouldn't like. Ironically, maybe Cell wouldn't go perfect as well, because Vegeta would train with someone else, like Piccolo, for example.
Probably.
And Piccolo would somehow, stop him from allowing Cell to do what he did. So yeah, like Vegeta would go to space, and and that's it. Trunks would still be a thing, just different upbringing.
Yeah.
It'd be yeah. In this scenario, if Vegeta was a deadbeat, it would be a different upbringing. You know, something that always interested me about the way that future Trunks gets reared is that the future Bulma really does have this idea in mind that Vegeta cared about her and loved her, yet he was still a more selfish person than he ultimately turns out to be in the primary timeline. and I can't help but wonder, like, because Trunks grows up with Bulma's opinion of Vegeta reflecting how he initially thinks about it. How do you think Trunks would have reacted to Vegeta if he'd come back in time knowing that his dad was like a jerk and a deadbeat? Like, if he'd known, it's like, do you think he would just like beat him up, like just outright be like, want to fight him?
Oh yeah, I think so. I think I like it's pretty natural and ironical. Like him having some of his personality traits. I think his Vegeta would ironically show up in that moment.
You know, you're not wrong.
Yeah, because he would know that this would hurt him being beaten by no one who just appeared.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining him showing up and after defeating Frieza and King Cold and stuff, and Vegeta starts acting all angry and pissy about it and stuff. He looks at him, he's like, you remind me of my father. I hated my father.
Well, I gotta go and talk about another thing I have to hate as well, is that saying that the super chats are now closed. Thank you very much for your contributions, everybody. We got a lot of super chats to get through, so we gotta get through these lickety-split. Okay, Podo. What if in Z, Chichi had the looks and personalities of her end of OG DB self instead of the naggy old lady ones Toriyama gave her in Z? How different do you think her treatment by the fans would have been? Oh, no question. If she was the same personality and everything from the end of Dragon Ball in Z, people would be much more open to her. Like, it was just unfortunate. But,
yeah.
I mean, I look back at that Chichi now from Dragon Ball Z, and you know what? I'm actually going like, I kind of feel sorry for her, and I kind of understand why she is the way she is. Yeah, I get it.
About this. I had a conversation about this once with a lot of the my friends and stuff, and the actresses on Dragon Ball R&R, with regard, especially Stacy, who plays Chi-Chi in Dragon Ball R&R, is that because it's a shonen series and thus the fans tend to be like young guys and stuff like that, they really don't give Chi-Chi enough credit for not wanting to send her 5-year-old son off to potentially be killed.
Yeah.
Like her fears are well justified. And what's more is she lives with a husband who is he's essentially developmentally challenged after a fashion. The only thing he truly understands is fighting, she wants her son to have every opportunity to grow up smart and successful and have all the doors open to him, and she doesn't want her child to be put in danger, especially when it's like world-ending dangerous threats. So her overreacting, especially when her son gets kidnapped not once but twice, once by Raditz and then once again by Piccolo, like her reaction is very fair for a mother of a 5-year-old kid,
Yeah. I feel they did the good balancing act, because that's fair, but also and I understand that. I think that it could be framed better and shown another side of them. I think that actually there's around Z medium that gave Chichi the most justice was Dead Zone, when she had that balance of her old safe self from DB and her caring for her son from DBZ. Because she fights, she's very active over there, but she's not like super nagging, because she wants to give him every opportunity, but she can be very overbearing,
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem. Like, they are trying to because it is a part of her comedy, but it comes out as of almost antagonistic, right?
Yeah.
As you said, like Dragon Ball was aimed primarily as at preteen and teenage boys,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
it's almost like putting the mother figure in sort of antagonistic role, you know?
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, she outright antagonistic in many ways, especially
Yeah.
when it comes to the way that it's shown in the anime, especially with the addition of filler. Like they really do make her this kind of like screeching harpy of a
Yeah.
character in a lot of different episodes, and it gets pretty bad at some points, and
Yeah.
it's not very fair, you know.
I feel that some of few things that Super did better than Z is like Chichi feels better in Super, in my opinion, than in Z.
A
Yeah,
little bit,
feels
yeah.
a bit more balanced.
Yeah.
All
Though
right.
I will say that I'm not a fan of her now doing the like Super doing the whole thing where like now she's basically treating Goten exactly like she treated Gohan, which doesn't make sense
Yeah,
for the character at all. So
Yeah.
Hmm. All right, Panda Walk. What if the hybrid Saiyans, Canon and What If, be given two names? One Saiyan and the other Earthling. Trunks Vegeta v Briefs, Son Gohan Toma, and Son Ranch Gine. Well, I mean, maybe having like a Saiyan name, and then a given name on Earth. But I mean, I suppose really it wouldn't really come up in regular conversation unless the hybrid Saiyans wanted to choose their Saiyan name as their main name.
well, and that's the other thing too, is giving them a Saiyan name. Like I could see it if they really wanted to invest in keeping that aspect of their culture, but at the same time, you really do get a sense, especially from like characters like Vegeta and stuff, and I feel Raditz would probably be in much the same boat, that after a certain amount of time, they really come to just kind of think of their home as Earth, you know. Their home is Earth, their culture is Earth, their families are, they think of themselves as Earthlings. Even if they aren't human,
Yep.
they are still Earthlings now.
Yeah.
You know, and so knowing that the planet Vegeta has been gone for so long, that it's not coming back, that the Saiyan culture as it was is not coming back, and probably for the better, since they were ultimately these conquerors, these fairly largely malicious kinds of aspects of their culture and stuff like that, you know. It's better that it kind of be relegated to the past and move away. So I don't necessarily think that they would give their kids a Saiyan name out of hand. But if one of their hybrid kids were to come up to them and be like, "Hey, what do you think my Saiyan name would have been if I'd have gotten a Saiyan name," and expressed more of an interest in the Saiyan side of their family and stuff like that, they might give them like a Saiyan
Trunks would be the easiest.
name.
Vegeta the fifth.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trunks literally would be Vegeta the Fifth.
Yeah.
And we do know what Bulla's Saiyan name would be.
Yeah.
She would have been Echelot.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. That is very true. All right. Okay. Smash Ultra. Unfortunately, the super chat thing, it's just a YouTube thing, really. It's just YouTube being YouTube. I've just been having
Yeah.
problems with it. I've been trying to talk to my agent about it, but hopefully we'll be able to fix it in the fullness of time. All right. Dylan Naruto. What if Cooler was canon instead of Frieza? If Cooler was the one instead of Frieza, I imagine he'd probably be a bit more logical, a bit more kind of like in keeping, a bit more kind of level-headed with Goku. Just like not as like malicious or like crazy. So just a bit more kind of level-headed, but still just as nefarious and evil. He'd still be a good villain.
He seems to be much more to the point, and he would be like much more, you know, a Black Knight villain. You know, like he would definitely be a good contrast to the colorful cast of the Frieza henchmen from Namek Saga, let's say, because all the henchmen, like, they play well with who Frieza is, right? And like Cooler wouldn't banter that much with Goku, you know.
No.
He wouldn't wait he wouldn't go through his every transformation. Nope, he would just
No, he's
try
no
to
nonsense.
eliminate him.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
wouldn't toy. Cooler doesn't toy with his food. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Radthramon. What if the Saiyans went to Earth earlier to take Goku during King Piccolo saga? How would the event play out? What would King Piccolo and the others do? Well, if Raditz was charged with bringing back Goku or Kakarot earlier, they probably would have ended up just like wiping out King Piccolo for being someone who got in their way. And then be like, Raditz would say, you know what? I'm feeling rather generous. If you just stay out of my way and let me take Kakarot, I will leave. But if you do try and resist, I will come back. He'll lord up over the fact that he'd be incredibly strong. So they probably just take out King Piccolo just for the fact he got in the way, not to be nice or anything, and then just take Kakarot, and go.
And they wouldn't be able to rest Roshi and Krillin and the biggest one that got treated to be Dr. Giro. But my revenge.
Yeah,
Where are you taking him?
You'd feel bad for
He's
Giorno.
mine. He's mine.
Yeah, pretty much. Matthew Schultz. What if Trunks was a Ghost Rider? I mean, to be honest, in terms of the edge, he'd be able to fit it. And to be honest, Trunks with a flaming skull, I'd be down with that.
Man, could you picture Trunks' jacket if it was leather instead of denim with the flaming skull? Oh man, and then the sword would also catch fire.
And
So
the
it's
ability to to make the evildoers to feel the suffering that they cause
grabs
for 17 and 18 of the future.
Yeah.
grabs Frieza and uses the penance stare on him.
Oh my, yeah.
Oh wow. There you go. That would be fun. Craig, what if Frieza saw Vegeta's Frieza saw Vegeta's potential, left it with Earth being a galactic training hub? What would Giorno do with all that biodata and alien tech? I think he would try and do something and start something, but I think he would easily be overpowered by the Galactic Patrol and the training hub and all that stuff. So I feel like Giorno, he probably would try and then fail. And there'd be some kind of bargaining thing that he basically say, if you don't want to die, because you've done a fair bit of work, why don't you work for us?
Yeah,
but
they would give him a project paperclip treatment, I think.
Yeah, they would just say, look, if you play ball with us, you can live, because you are smart. Yeah. All right, Omar Stockley, about the Chimera ant what if? Though they are large ants, their queen will also pass on the trace of whatever she eats to her offspring. In Hunter x Hunter, this resulted in Nen-wielding ants. Oh, Chimera ants. I guess passing on specific traits. It's sort of like what they happen with Dragon Ball. They pass the Kamehameha down, all that stuff, the propensity to learn it. I think just similar things, really.
Yeah, like Chimera and Cell.
Yeah, exactly. The ultimate Chimera.
Yeah.
All right. Tony Terrence. What if Broly and Cooler were introduced in DBZ? Different arcs, but leading to a time period where they both come across one another. Probably similar to how they act in the movies, but maybe tempered down a bit to increase their longevity. I think. So, I guess pretty much follow the movies.
I think Cooler would be smart enough to try and use Broly against the Saiyans and say you have beef with those Saiyans. I think Cooler would be the brains and Broly would be the bronze.
Yeah, certainly. Okay, next one is Saint Fisto. What if Goku landing on Earth left him paralyzed from the waist down until he ate his senzu bean from Korin? Basically, if he did, then he'd still be able to train. He'd just be a little bit more he'd probably find a way to be able to walk quickly using his hands.
Yeah.
He'd adapt very well. And probably even using his tail to get around as a helicopter, because he can do that. And then if he did eat a senzu bean from Korin and got his legs back, he would then just go from there, and he probably would thrive.
Well, his tail be paralyzed. Yeah, it would.
Oh, from the waist down.
Even if the legs didn't grow back, I feel like anybody who lost a limb over the course of their time and stuff like that, barring in the bad future because resources were scarce, but anybody who lost a limb in the Dragon Ball world from the protagonist side would probably be able to go to Bulma and get really good prosthetics, cybernetics even.
Yeah, that's true.
As a kid, I used to wonder why Bulma never gave Gohan a robot arm, but as I got older, I'm like, well, her resources were stretched kind of thin, and they didn't have a whole lot of time to make one.
Yeah, they were able to make a
I
time
just
machine.
I just imagine Gohan like in our what if having Winter Soldier style arm with Capsule Corp logo.
Yeah.
Instead of the star.
Yeah. Gaming Wolf. What if Goku landed on Fire Mountain? Well, we've had this before actually. I think Ox King would take him in with open arms, and then he would end up bringing the he and Chichi would be the prince and princess of Fire Mountain.
Yeah.
The Ox Prince and Princess.
The only real difference, I think, at that point would become whether or not you would want to say Westermark effect is in full force, and Chichi and Goku decide that they are not romantically interested in each other since they'd have grown up as siblings. In which case, it would probably become a stronger contender for a Bulma and Goku universe. Either that or a Suno and Goku universe if Goku did eventually go on his adventure and meet characters like Suno.
Yeah, certainly. You would definitely not have a Chi-Chi x Goku thing. No, you definitely wouldn't have that. Omar Stockley, how exactly would it work if they were to eat humans in the Dragon Ball universe, specifically in early Dragon Ball? I imagine probably in the Toriyama way they would subvert it in some way to make it look really silly.
Like Moro eating 7-3.
Yeah, exactly.
Oof.
They'd make it look really silly. Or maybe they have like a fine dining restaurant where you have human a la flambe and stuff like that. You make it really sophisticated looking, but it's still cannibalism.
I will take that Krillin, please.
Yes. With and basically because he has no nose. It's like, I don't like the cartilage getting in my teeth. Fat Raving Fox Music Lover. What if Goku and Vegeta switched personalities but kept their original moralities? I think Goku would still he'd be more up with his pride, and Vegeta probably would just be a bit more willing to just he'd be a bit more optimistic and bouncy, but he would still want to kill Goku. But he would still be a bit more bouncy and optimistic.
He would be more like a Joker type of character.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
No, definitely. Arthur.
I think
okay.
Sorry. I think he would be closer to someone as Daedalus, who is kind of less serious than him and more like sadistic and bouncier.
Yeah. No, there's certainly room for that. Arthur Animal Donuts. What if Super Boo were the good Boo? Like, he had the form and sinister voice, but had the silliness and good tendencies of Fat Boo, like befriending Hercule. To be honest, that would absolutely be hilarious. It's like,
ah, yes, Boo absolutely love candy. You are Boo's best friend.
And stuff like that. It just sounds so funny. Like, if he were... I mean, to be honest, Super Boo did have the potential to become a good Boo, because he had some good in him. But if he just had the good, his good part overrode everything else, it would just be... you'd have this very intimidating looking Boo, but he ends up being the nicest guy.
Yeah.
It's like, Boo see old lady wanting to cross street. Boo, throw old lady. But then Boo catch because I can stretch.
Hey, thank you, weird pink blob man.
No problem. Boo all in Boo's day's work.
All that stuff.
Oh my god.
Yeah. All right, Matthew Schultz. What if Giovanna was a Z fighter? Golden Experience Requiem. I mean, come on. It would end everything. But even if you just use Golden Experience, it's just a case of being able to bring life to everything. So basically, anyone who was on the verge of death could basically be brought back to life. Or you could channel life into something else. So I think it could make up for something really interesting. But Vegeta would then consider him a gag character because it's a weird power. He doesn't understand it.
At which point he would refuse to fight.
Yeah. Visor Grunt R34. Beerus, give me the pudding, Super Boo. Boo don't want to! There you go. Doje Me. Hey, Master Crew. Didn't get to share this on Twitter, but hear me out. A cop series in a modern magic setting, but the main character nullifies magic and needs to team and collect evidence lest he accidentally destroys it. Okay.
Interesting.
I think it's an interesting
Okay,
plot. I'd like to hear more about that, Doje Me. So if you can do that in the future, do let me know. Nice.
I do enjoy a good magic in the modern era setting. I am a big fan of the Dresden Files, so ideas like that are very cool.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, just do get them to proceed with it. All right, Omar Stockley. What if the Boo saga happened before the Android saga, around before Vegeta left? How exactly would they handle this? I'd have to play the sound.
I mean, if we scale the powers according,
Yeah, you'd have to scale the powers to make it
yeah,
work.
Yeah. So who would be the Majin? Probably Majin Piccolo.
Yes.
Because to give to properly finalize his arc, and then go with the whole Kamikolo thing. The biggest problem is the status quo of Mr. Satan.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Because he is kind of crucial to the Boo saga, and he is crucial largely because he is a big celebrity, you know, and it's not something that we could form a quick answer for. Like, it's an interesting idea that we might tackle one day, you know.
Yeah.
But it requires a proper scenario. But because it's not like, you know, it's not like as simple as, oh, let's change the same events, you know. But I like this idea. Maybe we'll do it for our one shot.
Okay. All right. We'll make a note of it. Jesse JP. What if Tarbell was an elite like Vegeta? Oh man, can you imagine the reason why Tarbell was exiled? Not was because the fact that he was so weak, is that he was too strong, and they basically thought he basically undermined Vegeta. So basically, Vegeta made up some cock and bull story that he was a threat to the Saiyans, so he had to be exiled.
I'm imagining Tarbell. I'm imagining Tarbell as almost like an Angel Densetsu sort of character, where like he's really strong, but he has no idea that he's strong, and he totally thinks he's weak, and like all he really wants to do is just kind of like enjoy life with his wife and stuff like that. But then like when something does come up, he manages to like bungle his way into defeating it with his immense power without realizing it.
Yeah.
It's this quadrant of the universe has been totally quiet for a long, long time. Oh yeah, that's because there's this guy that's kind of like the Guardian out there. What do you mean Guardian? Oh well, he doesn't think he's the Guardian, but he manages to thwart all of the potential evils that happen without realizing it.
That could be
good. He punched like Frieza tried to invade us once, but he punched him and Frieza apologized. What do you mean Frieza apologized?
He just did. I don't know. He just did.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
All right, Vandalia. What if when Ranch went back in time, she accidentally went to the What If Gine Came to Earth universe? Oh, you guys just really want me to make her meet Gine. Oh my god.
Yep.
Like,
yep. They want the Gine and Ranch interaction going on here.
Well, okay, if she did, then I think it would be just a cool like interaction. I think Gine would be super proud of her for seeing a very strong lady hybrid Saiyan actually make it in life and being able to protect people. So I feel like the ultimate pep talk, because Ranch getting a pep talk from herself in the past is all well and good, but if she was able to get it from her own mother, or from grandmother, then I think that would be pretty potent.
I think the interaction I would be more interested in seeing is an interaction between Ranch and Bardock, because we all know that Bardock didn't treat Raditz very well when Raditz was growing up. And I think that if Raditz were to see his dad again, Raditz, like all that kind of like young sort of trauma from being Bardock's son might have come back, and I think that Ranch would have some keywords for Bardock. Maybe a fist or two.
Yeah, probably just be like, listen, mister, I know that you're a sneaky scientist. But it's true, though.
Where the heck did you hear that I was a scientist?
Oh, I have my sources. Yeah.
I have my sources. It cuts to a flashback of Vegeta telling everyone that Bardock was a brilliant scientist.
Yeah. I had first-hand sources.
I've got someone on the inside and all that.
Yeah.
Alright, okay. Next one is Craig. What if Bulma and Chichi were Bardock's daughters and Goku and Raditz were Dr. Brief's sons? And okay, there are two. So that one, if Bulma and Chichi were Bardock's daughters and Goku were Dr. Brief's sons, I guess they would get together and they'd be happily ever after and all that stuff.
And there would be like sibling rivalry, like Vegeta would be the envious one, obviously.
Yes. Of course, he
Well,
would
I
be
mean,
the envious one.
It would be sort of like it would be sort of a similar scenario to gender swapping the characters after a fashion if you make it so that Goku, if I'm reading this right, like Goku is the son of the Briefs family and Bulma and Chi-Chi are the children of Bardock.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and Vegeta is Goku's brother.
Interesting. So basically, you would have you would basically be substituting Bulma and Tights for Goku and Vegeta, and
Yeah.
then Goku in canon, if he had a sibling, that's what Bulma and Chi-Chi have become. I don't think it would change up too much, except you would basically have these girls as the main characters, and they would probably be pretty awesome. It would be weird seeing a smart Goku.
Yeah,
like,
just to say the
like-
least.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm sure that Goku himself would probably be like, this universe is hard to look at. My brain can't comprehend it. But it's an intriguing idea, but I think it kind of changes up too much of the characters for them to truly be those characters anymore, you know? Because a Goku and a Vegeta raised as brothers, growing up at Capsule Corp under normal circumstances, they're the humans, right? They're more or less they're completely different. And then Chi-Chi and Bulma both being these Saiyans that would ultimately wind up on Earth, raised by Son Gohan. I mean, it would require way too much conjecture for it to be anything less than like just a sheer fanfic concept that we don't have time for that on this, but it leaves me intrigued.
Yeah.
At the very least.
Because how would you keep them still recognizably the characters that they're supposed to be?
Your question intrigues us.
Yes. Yes, certainly. Okay, Matthew Schultz. What if Goten was the protagonist of Super? Well, if Goten was the protag, you'd end up with, like... you'd probably end up with Goten Black. Because you'd then have to have him face his demons. And all that stuff.
If Goten was the protagonist, you'd actually have to let him grow up.
Yeah. Only
I will
Goten.
never not be bitter over what they have done to my children in Super.
I think a lot of us are.
Same, but again, at this point, I wouldn't be mad if we aged them up. That would be hilarious.
It would be funny.
Yeah, he would just. Why are you two so short? Boop, fixed.
Why are you so young? Seems time's gone a little bit wonky.
It doesn't seem to make much sense, actually.
I have an idea. Can you imagine if it turned out that it's because Whist messed up by doing that time rewind in Resurrection F? He put them into a time loop.
Oh.
And he realized too late. That would be hilarious.
What if Goten and Trunks haven't aged because they're actually in a time loop?
Because Whis made an ultimate boo-boo.
Yeah. And Whis would be like, oops, I'm sorry.
Oh, that is absolutely my B. All right, okay.
You
Jesse
two
Goss.
were supposed to be teenagers by now.
What if Goku got immortality? Would that be then he'd be able to do Super Saiyan Kaioken? I mean, I guess probably because he would end up not, being torn apart by the forces and all that stuff.
It would be very unhappy Super Saiyan Kaioken though.
He'd be in pain, yeah, but he could still do it. Sort of like Piccolo going gigantic, because that creates tremendous pain for him.
Super Saiyan Kaioken Ultra Instinct.
Yes. There you go. Have
And
stack all the
Knuckles.
powers. Yeah, stack all the powers.
Knuckles.
Yes.
Oh god.
Okay, Podo. Imagine if Gine met Frisk, flirtiest human alive.
Oh my.
Frisk from Undertale. I think that anybody who interacted with the sweet child that is Frisk attempting to flirt with them would be very charmed by the entire situation.
Yeah, definitely. Sam Hennis, if you could turn your top 3 what ifs into DLC questlines for Xenoverse 2, which ones would you pick? Easy. Frieza, Gine, and Raditz. Those ones.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
probably.
those. Yep.
Yeah.
I would probably say the same.
Yeah. We're boring like that, but it's true. We are logical. We are
If you count my ideas, I would do Cell, Nappa, and Zamasu.
Oh yes, Zamasu one's a good one too.
To be perfectly honest, I may not be happy with Frieza getting to be a prevalent a part of Super, but I mean the logic behind the choice of bringing back the character was sound enough. That yeah, I definitely fall into the same boat when it comes
Yeah,
to
they did a good enough job. It turned out okay.
They know that they know basically that they messed up Resurrection F, and I think that other than obviously this character is popular, they just wanted to make the character justice because they knew they messed up.
Yeah, I do think
certainly.
I would prefer if Cell had an opportunity to spread his wings, so to speak.
Don't we all? Maybe he's the unannounced, the unexpected character. Resurrection C.
Yeah.
I will say one thing though. Any bad will that had built up after the Tournament of Power stuff was burned away by the hilarity that was Frieza in Dragon Ball Super Broly.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
the bit with him killing Paragus was
one of the funniest things in Dragon Ball ever.
It is one of the funniest, and I was cackling. It was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's perfect it's absolutely perfect in both versions.
It really is. Meg says 5 centimeters.
Yeah.
No doubt. No doubt. No
Like,
doubt.
like Frieza is such a scene stealer in Broly. Like,
He really is. He totally is.
yeah.
Okay, Sam Hennis again. What if someone other than Goku also learned Ultra Instinct? Who would you want to learn it and why? Krillin.
Krillin.
No doubt, Krillin.
Let's move on.
Let's move on. Krillin.
I mean, the explanations sound enough, but I mean, like, there's already the implications that Roshi probably already knows it in the manga, and so like, if there's one character that I think really does kind of deserve that bit, it would probably be Krillin. It would be one of the humans, period. Whether it was Krillin, Tien, or Yamcha, it would be one of those humans. I would almost say, hell, give it to Yamcha, because the guy doesn't get any freaking love.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, Kirby163. If there was a Dragon Ball Super spin-off that focused on episodic adventures about tournament power characters from universes other than 6 or 7, what would you like to see? Pride Troopers. I'd love to see Toppo on the day-to-day have a glass of whiskey at the end of the day. Him in that bar with Dispo. Great scenes. I love those. Just like, the end of the day, they're having a drink, just reminiscing about the day, reflecting about themselves, and all that stuff.
I really like Universe 4 because they are malicious, but I think you can make a pretty cool mismatch group kind of scenario with a little bit roguish stuff, I really like Ganos and his Birdman transformation, and I think that was something really cool and really unexpected, honestly.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, so Universe 4 is a big one for me.
Yeah. Yeah, 4 or 11. Just give love to other universes, put simply.
Yeah. I think a lot of these other universes would be interesting, especially since I know that a lot of people would probably be jumping on board the let's watch some stuff from Universe 6 because that also has Saiyans, but it's honestly, I've grown so tired of the Saiyans. I would love to see what these other folks get up to, like the Pride Troopers or the Trio de Danger.
Yeah. Yes, Trio de Danger and the post-apo Universe 2 and and Kamikaze Fireballs and all the others.
Yeah, the Kamikaze Fireballs as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, next one is Molly Shadows. Hey guys, I just got out of college and wanted to thank you guys for your help. I definitely couldn't have gotten through it without your videos. Well, congratulations, Molly. Well done for getting out of college. So, congratulations to you, Molly. Well done. So, hopefully, you can take some time to gather yourself and figure out what you want to do. And whatever you do, I hope you enjoy it and you have a good life. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
All right, Podo. Since Launch is a trucker and they stop at bars a lot, and so do farmers like Trigger. Imagine them meet. Oh, that's Trigger, the Raditz name we came up with for in that one. Imagine them meeting one day and later we get Farm Girl Ranch. Chemical chance does not work like that. That's the thing.
Hold on. What leads to Farm Girl Ranch?
Oh, Launch is a trucker and basically Raditz farm boy Raditz, then they meet and then they have ranch. I gotta agree with Moss. I don't think that chemical chance works that way. You wouldn't get the same exact ranch. I mean,
Country ranch.
Though I'm sure that the idea of Farm Girl Ranch is appealing enough.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, buff ranch, but dressed in Daisy Dukes. Now there's an image for you.
Oh man. Oh, she could kick my ass any day.
Farm Girl Ranch Saga.
In the words of Spike Spiegel, I love a woman who can kick my ass.
Yeah, there you go. Vandalia. What if Gohan was the protagonist of Kingdom Hearts? I mean, it's do you think that the light will beat the darkness? No, I think that the darkness will beat the light. And all that stuff.
I haven't played Kingdom Hearts since Kingdom Hearts 2, and to be honest, I felt like it was good enough for a one and done. I can't get into the lore of that game because it's too much. It's too much. So I can't give a fair opinion of this.
Unfortunately. But
yeah.
Haverok will be back with us shortly. He's just walking the doggo, just so you know.
Walking the doggo.
Right. Turns out, what if magic was more utilized? Well, that's kind of what we were promised with the likes of what's the word? With the likes of Moro. Like, we were promised the idea of having magic powers and all that stuff being utilized as a potential catalyst, but alas, we never got it. We never got that potential.
Yeah,
it was kind of sad.
Magic has the potential to be such an interesting obstacle for the protagonists because we never really got to experience the full force of it in the Buu saga.
No.
We never really got to witness the full force of it in the Moro arc in the manga. So the real question becomes, like, how do you create imagine an enemy of the sort that you might find in like a comic book more similar to Doctor Strange or Doctor Fate or any number of those comic book characters centered around magic and stuff like that. Take those concepts and apply it to Dragon Ball. And it's so interesting the kinds of things that you might have to deal with, because I think it would require so much more outside the box thinking on the part of the protagonists, so much more strategy, so much less of the approach of just hit it really, really hard.
Yeah.
And that would make it so awesome. But, you know, they just keep veering away from it. And I don't know why, because there's so much potential.
Yeah, they just don't seem to be able to, like, just stick the landing and just go with it, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
we'd be very much down to seeing more magic in Dragon Ball, certainly.
Plus, it would probably give people an excuse to bring Gohan back for the more cerebral aspects of, like, the plot and stuff like that. Put some of the scholarly nature, the intellect, you know, the intelligence to good use. Him and Bulma and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Alright, Gobi. What if Gohan went to a high school where that was the Dragon Ball world equivalent to Cromartie, with him being the unwitting bancho of his class? Oh, Cromartie High. Oh man, he turns out to being the bancho, as in like being the strongest guy in the room. I mean, I imagine he would just end up being the king of the classroom.
Would that mean that Gohan, despite not technically being a delinquent, would inadvertently become like the leader of the high school gang
without trying?
Without even trying.
Like,
so it's like
he keeps going, I don't want to be part of your gang. It's like, that's exactly someone with all such modesty.
Gosh, that reminds me of Angel Densetsu.
Yeah.
Old school manga. Check it out sometime if you can. You'll probably only be able to find it online, but Angel Densetsu is a really sweet manga from, like, I think it was late 80s or early 90s, and that totally encapsulates this idea of Gohan totally inadvertently, without even trying, becoming like the head of the local high school gang.
Just like purely by just coincidence. Yeah. Alright, Alien. What if we trained Goku after beating Frieza? Or after beating him the first time? I mean, I imagine probably it would just be like Beerus going like, somebody actually beat Frieza. Interesting. Let's train him, because Beerus would be asleep right now. It'd almost be like almost like a reward for beating Frieza. You get to train with Whis, but he doesn't explain. He obviously maybe disguises himself as a mortal, and just trains him in some way, and then sees potential for training with him later. So probably disguises himself, because you don't want to add God Key and stuff like that this too early into the series. So he'd want to test his mettle for sure, at the very least. Alright, okay. Next one is Pandawok. What if Saiyans are more like orcs from Warhammer in terms of comedy? War Boss Vegeta, the fourth one. I mean, to be honest,
Vegeta, the fourth one.
I mean, to be honest, it would be funny. Just like you just get the Saiyans that were in mud huts, really. You know, they all talk like like orcs do.
You get those old school fur wearing Saiyans from the story bit that King Kai was given over to Goku and stuff.
Yeah.
The Saiyan lives for war.
Yeah, exactly. So you just get that. And not much else really, but it would
Vegeta's... be. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go on.
I was gonna say Vegeta's scatter shot would just be called more Daka.
Oh, because Daka. Daka,
more Daka.
It really would be. It really would. All right. Okay. Next up, is Vulcan. What if Hercule learned Fourth Spirit Vision? Oh man, if he learned Fourth Spirit Vision, he'd be the wild card. Like, he'd have this power. No one would expect it from him. He punches people really hard, and then somehow the punches make people weaker, but nobody knows why. And you know, he's a sleeper agent. Could be a good sleeper hitter.
Yeah.
Matthew Schultz, thank you for the super chat as well. And Vandalia, what if the crew of the Next Generation Enterprise came to the Dragon Ball Earth? If they did, I mean, the photon torpedoes are not really going to be doing much against people. So, probably an interesting thing with Capsule Corp, finding out about their technology. And, you know, they talk about being in the 24th century, and they have evolved over certain tastes. But then, of course, you know, they still have, like, weird things, and they only talk about Shakespeare and things from the 20th century. Interesting. But I imagine probably it would just be a nice little interaction. There's not really much to peril, but if there were peril, they probably wouldn't be able to help much. So it'd be a bit of a waste of effort for them. Drakunen. Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. I know you kind of touched on this, but what if Roshi wished to be young before the start of the Saiyan saga? If he did before the Saiyan saga started, I imagine probably it would just be a case of wanting to keep up with the young ones. Like, he's sort of enticed to be young and see if he can keep up with them still. Probably has a sense of validation. Like, say, oh, if I was born today, would I be able to be just as strong as them? Yup, definitely would.
It would have probably occurred sometime before or during the time skip between Dragon Ball and Z as well, like after the big bit with Piccolo Jr. versus Goku, but before Raditz shows up, which means that you would have probably had the knock-on effect of, because Roshi has become young again and is taking a more invested approach to his training again and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then Krillin, who also lives on the island, would have also continued to do some pretty intense training and stuff like that, which meant that Goku, who had been still training but also taking it easy and still manages to grow quite a bit in power. By the time that Raditz shows up, I think that they'd all be on a higher level than they probably were in the original canon, which would be interesting because it means that the approach to the Raditz fight might change. And who knows what kind of knock-on effect that might have.
Yeah, exactly. So you can never be too sure with this kind of thing. All right, okay. Smash Ultra. What if Krillin's only purpose is to fight henchmen? It's like, what is my purpose? You fight henchmen. Dear God. Oh God. Oh man, if basically it'd be like the butter droid, the butter robot from Rick and Morty. Oh God, my God. Butter. There you go. Dark Snake X5, Princess of Saiyans Bulma. This is where it ends for you. I am going to crush you and blow you into the wind. Trunks, Vegeta, I do this for you. Yes, even you, Chichi.
I'm sorry. I know that's supposed to be a dramatic moment, but the idea of Bulma and Chichi having the Vegeta and Kakarot rivalry just strikes me as funny. Although, man, artwork of Bulma's sacrifice, like Vegeta's sacrifice, now that would be pretty cool.
That would
Saiyan
be.
Bulma doing sacrifice.
Yeah, of course, of course. All right, Wild Wolf Gaming 11. What if Piccolo sacrificed instead of Goku against Raditz? Probably. I think Goku would be like pretty blown away and impressed with Piccolo's sacrifice, and I feel that Piccolo would want to get back and like find out about the Saiyans coming back, and he want a piece of that. And I feel like this would be a chance for redemption and a means for Kami to understand why he did that. So he would help, and I think Piccolo would learn, and then he'd come back just to get back at the Saiyans. So it would certainly make it interesting, but if he were to die again, then that might be a bit tricky later on. I'd have to play the sound if that did happen, but certainly for now, it would certainly be a nice little journey of discovery between him and Kami. just a little bit sooner in the proceedings. Smash Ultra. What if Super Saiyan gave you armor instead of just gold hair? Or if it gave you cool armor, I mean, come on, that'd be amazing. You'd look so cool.
What kind of armor? Saiyan armor? Space armor?
Just cool armor in general.
Interesting. It's almost sort of like a Golden Fleece scenario, or something similar to what the power of the protagonist in that new Mortal Kombat movie is.
Yeah. But it's certainly just getting some kind of buff, which is a bit more visual almost.
That is an interesting idea. The idea of like gaining armor, getting more defensible and stuff like that. I think that there is a little bit of less is more in the Super Saiyan transformation, and that's kind of encapsulated simply by the reason why they decided to have the transformation be blonde, so that they wouldn't have to ink the hair, which was taking so long.
Yeah, it sped things up, certainly. Because at that time, it did get pretty crunch time. There was only like 2 months between the manga and the anime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the crunch would have been horrible.
Yeah, the crunch was real.
Once again, and just another reminder that the standards and practices of the animation industry, especially in Japan, really need to change.
They really do. And it was like, you think it's bad now. Back then, it was way worse.
Oh, but see, here's the thing, is that it's getting bad again, because did you know that 50% of all anime in existence has been made in like the past like 20 years or something like that?
Really?
Yeah, like 50% of all anime in existence has been created since the turn of the century. It's
Jeez.
Like compared to the kind of output that people did back in the day, we're getting so much anime now. There was this great video done by Mother's Basement on it about how we're getting so much anime now that like even good anime aren't even being like remembered, because it's such an oversaturated market, which just leads me to believe that not only is the market super saturated, but they're probably overworking the hell out of those animators and voice actors.
Oh, no doubt. Like, you can barely keep up with demand and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important to remember, folks, support the official release. Alright.
Yep.
Jumping official release. To go off of one of the Undertale Alternative Universe crossovers, it has soul trait called Hate, a colorless trait until activated, which causes it to consume anything that touches it, but will make you stronger if you control it. Thoughts? Oh yeah, so basically almost like a poison chalice. So if you can handle it, Ultra Divine Water, then you are worthy. It's Ultra Divine Water essentially. Like, hey, if you can handle it, then you can use it. If you can't, you die. So, honestly, I like it, Walrus. Go with it.
Mm-hmm.
Gaming Nerd Christian TV. What if GT was... And that's it.
What if GT was?
What if GT was a thing? I mean, you know, like, apparently it's not a thing. But I'm guessing he said it was good. Well, GT had good parts of it. It just was rushed. Like, if they took a year off after the end of Z and took a year off and came back to it, they might have had a better time of it. Had some time to think things through. And Toriyama coming, they might have gone to Toriyama and said, hey, what do you think about this? And he'd be like, no, change it. It probably wouldn't have been as good as Z, but it probably would not be as derided for as much as it has been. Probably. Crazy Carlton.
Yeah, and if the question had been something like, what if GT was canon, I think that it's a pretty it's pretty much a foregone conclusion now, even though they are still marketing a lot of the stuff from GT, like the Super Saiyan 4 transformation. I think it's a pretty foregone conclusion that Super no longer matches up to GT timeline-wise. I mean, heck, it hardly even matches up to End of Z timeline-wise.
Yeah.
So I think it's a foregone conclusion that GT is definitely not canon these days.
Yeah, but they're not. But there is no way that Toei's going to go out and officially say it, because you know, it's like, why would they do that? Because then it delegitimizes something that they could easily make money from.
Oh yeah, the marketability of Super Saiyan 4 alone was such a huge reason to keep GT like ostensibly, possibly still a thing, you know. So
Yes.
they'll never come out and outright say it. But
Precisely. Crazy Carlton. I've been thinking, what if Piccolo absorbed more Namekians while on Namek, possibly taking down Frieza instead of Goku going Super Saiyan? He'd have had to probably convince a lot of people to actually go along with it, because at that time, fusion was forbidden, and most likely that was down to the fact that there weren't that many Namekians to spare.
well, and we need to remember that by the time Piccolo shows up to Namek, the only member of the clan of a clan he could fuse with was Nail, because as a pair of warrior clansmen, that's a bad term to use, but as a pair of individuals from the warrior clan, they could fuse, but there weren't any other Namekians alive at the time. Because then they have to go through the whole process of wishing the Namekians back and then transporting them to Earth. So Piccolo really didn't have the opportunity to fuse with more Namekians. Now, had there been a couple of those, like say those warriors that tried to attack Frieza's crew and stuff like that in one of the villages early on, we would have probably seen some pretty exponential power growth from him, but it still wouldn't have held up against Frieza's transformed states, because he would have still been well below the kind of threshold that Goku manages to later achieve with the Super Saiyan transformation.
Yeah.
So at most, we would have probably seen him put up a bit more of a fight, put up a bit better of a fight, hold Frieza off for longer until Goku finally gets out. But the change would have been superficial, especially since the personality of those warriors, they would have been subsumed by Piccolo's personality, wouldn't have changed him as a character very much. So it would have been a very superficial change, in my opinion.
No, I would agree. I would agree with you there. Okay, Vulcan. What if Raditz visited a timeline where Vegeta is married to Launch? How would he react? Probably, like, beside himself, but then he would check himself to say, well, at least, well, I know that my universe is the best because I married Launch. And he would keep telling himself that. He'd have his own self-worth and belief, so he would do that, but his initial reaction would be shock.
Oh my gosh.
In Goku X Bomb or What If Vegeta married Launch instead of being single? Well, we'll get to that. Maybe. I imagine for the next part probably. I imagine that'll be the time when Vegeta and Launch get together.
I do have some choice words for you, Masako, on that Bulma and Goku What If, because if you even think about divorcing them, I swear I will fly to across the pond and I will give you a good slapping.
Well, the answer to that is, Sophie, Goku shouldn't have opened the bloody thing. He shouldn't have opened the bloody jar. And Gohan's got some words for that too. Yeah. Anyway, speaking of Saiyans, Tunes Out says, what if a Saiyan was artificially made? Well, Bio Broly. And look how that turned out. Bio Broly.
That's not fair. That's not fair, Moss.
What's not fair? What's not fair?
What if a Saiyan was artificially made?
And then Masako said Bio Broly.
We actually have a video on Bio Broly, believe it or not.
We do. And we will have that out for you sometime in July. We do have that, but we have like 21 videos in the can. Yeah. Like, because we want to have a summer, so we have got 7 weeks worth of the videos in the can, so we got plenty of content.
We basically did Phineas and Ferb this year.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. But turns out if the same was artificially made, probably just be like, wouldn't be probably the same. Probably like, you know, as they say, the original is always best. And all that stuff, it'd be like, oh, you try and make a copy of me? Oh, that's not gonna work.
I
Look.
think you can make a Superboy scenario like a more interesting thing. Like
Ultimately, if artificial Saiyans were created, it doesn't matter whether or not there were any battles or whether or not there was any bad blood between them. The true message is this: it is not the circumstances of one's birth that determines your worth, but what you do with the gift of life that defines you.
Yes. Yes. Smash Ultra. What if there's a Snake Saiyan having our own Orochimaru? To be honest, that would be kind of interesting.
I like snake base. I'm a huge sucker for snake based villains. So yes, please.
Yeah.
Maybe not a Saiyan per se, but
A Super Saiyan. I mean, honestly, just having like a cool tongue and tail and like cool eyes, that kind of thing, and like super scales instead of the hair, it's scales. That'd be awesome.
and like to have a venomous, like a proper venomous villain,
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Vukodlak. What if the reason Vegeta seemed to grow taller was due to spending half his life suspended in attack pods and was thus biologically only 15 when he arrived on Earth? Stunted growth and all that, potentially. Yeah, it could easily be that. Yeah, because he spent a lot of time in stasis. Because I think you go into suspended animation in those pods.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's not that foolish. It's kind of reasonable explanation.
yeah, it's actually Vukodlak. Good job, Vukodlak. That's a pretty plausible.
If you said this to Toriyama would be like, yeah, probably.
Yeah, no, he'd go along with it and steal your idea.
And the interviewer will be like, oh my gosh, this is canon now, guys. Toriyama officially confirmed. It was before our eyes the whole time.
Yeah.
It's under my very nose.
Yes. Oh, exactly.
Nose because Krillin, because
Oh God!
Krill.
All right, Doje Me. What if Yamcha was a werewolf? Who's to say that he's not? We don't see him at night.
Or maybe he's a reverse werewolf. He turns into human during the day.
Oh, yeah.
When sun's out, and since sun's out kind of all the time.
Yeah, we don't really see him doing all that much.
He's a wereman.
Yeah, he's
Yamcha
a
the
wereman. Yeah, exactly. Craig Twitchell. What if Zeno erased Universe 7 but keeps Goku because he's fun? I think Goku would be devastated by it, but I feel like Beerus and would tell him do not engage.
I think at this point Goku said, Zen, if you you might erase me as well. Erase everybody else, and Zeno will feel bad and probably bring back everyone.
Yeah, it'd be like a lesson about preservation of life for Zeno.
Yeah.
Certainly. Mason S, what if the Cell Saga was an eating contest? I think Cell would win because he has the constitution of multiple Saiyans.
And I was also going to say, Cell ate a lot of people, so I think he kind of wins by default.
Does drinking count, however?
Because you consume it, yes.
You still consume it. It's still you can still drink a food and it's considered eating.
Yeah, because hot dog eating contests. Think about it. What people do is that they soak the bread in water and it basically becomes gunk that you drink.
Yeah, and then they just shovel the whole thing in.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I would say that counts. It checks out.
I don't know how can you enjoy hot dogs after something.
You don't. They become that's the competitive food.
Hot dog eating contests are purely about the competition. I don't think anybody who eats hot dogs as a contest for a prize. I don't think anyone who does that actually enjoys hot dogs.
You Anglo-Saxon people are weird.
And I'll tell you something right now, man. The hot dog began its life as a derivative of the basic sort of sausage. Now, hot dogs are horrible.
Yeah.
But if you got a good one and you make it well, It may be horrible. It may be comprised of all of the nastiest bits of whatever meat it's made of, but it can taste good when prepared correctly.
Yeah, if you prepare it well, it can work.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Alien. What if we trained Goku after we beat Frieza on Namek? I think we've had this before, Alien. I think this is a repeat one. But basically, Whis would disguise himself as a mortal and try and like see some kind of potential in him, and then wait until it was time for him to meet him again. So there you go. Smash Ultra. What if Dragon Ball villains aren't in Hiffle? Instead, they do a Frieza voice. I'll get you next time, Gadget. Next time.
We'll probably have a team up between the villains, you know,
Yes.
and
Absolutely. There'd be team-ups, there'd be collaborations. You'd have like a villainous gang.
yeah, Betrayal. Dragon Ball Sinister 6. Who would be in Dragon Ball Sinister 6?
Frieza,
Cell, Babidi,
Nappa, probably.
Nappa, yeah, as a muscle, yeah.
Dabura.
Nappa, Dabura, and Zamas?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
Zamas is the god tier. He's the Mr. Manhattan of the group. Like he has these godly powers, but he doesn't use them because he feels like it's beneath him.
Oh gosh, Zamasu as Dr. Manhattan. Now that's an interesting visual.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, Cornell 101. If pop culture such as Star Wars, Avengers, Harry Potter, etc. existed in Dragon Ball, which franchises would be which character's favorite? Well, we know that Videl likes Harry Potter, according to DBZA.
Yeah.
I imagine probably Gohan likes Harry Potter as well. But then
Gohan probably likes Harry Potter, but I would imagine that he'd be more of a classical lit. Like, I think he'd probably have a deeper love for something like Lord of the Rings.
I think Vegeta would like Star Wars.
Gohan is a Trekkie. Oh my gosh.
I think Vegeta would like Star
much
Wars
a
and like the scientific side of it, and he'd be just like,
Please, they believe that's how a quantum drive works. Believe me, I know that actually.
Oh gosh.
I prefer Star Wars because they don't hide its fantasy. and like you'd have like those heated argument between Vegeta and Kid Gohan, which is better.
oh yeah.
And
Exactly.
Piccolo is like, oh, you know, I tend to enjoy Stephen King. Oh, I like Dark Tower, The Stand. You know, like discovering that Piccolo is a very, you know, like a bookish person and reads a lot and like has a vast knowledge about pop cultural literature. You know.
Yeah.
I think that
No, not yet.
Krillin would be a fan of the detective novel,
Oh,
like
yeah.
like the old school pulp
Hang on one
detective
second, I'll be right with you.
Noir, yeah.
novel.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna have to go and deal with a situation with a dead mouse. But I would say the next one. I'm gonna leave you on with the Smash Ultra. What if Teen Gohan looked the same in the Buu Saga? In that now, go.
Oh,
So
you
if
mean
can deal with that one? I will be right back.
look the same? I suppose that he wouldn't age that much from Cell Saga.
Oh, so if he still looked 11.
Yeah, Detective Conan situation basically.
Interesting. Well, I mean, it might be considered fair after a fashion, but the thing is that Gohan's kind of joining high school for like only like the last year. He's supposed to be like what? Supposed to be like 16, 17ish, and he's already ahead of the game, so
Yeah.
if we go based on that, like I could see it. Maybe age. It's interesting because I feel like he'd be a lot shorter than everybody else at the school.
I
of
mean,
course.
you know, it's your Detective Conan, it's your Yugi Muto, you know, it's all of your short protagonists in high school situation.
I think, yeah, bringing up Yugi is actually a really good point.
Yeah.
But I think, given that he's still overall the same character, I think that it wouldn't change much.
Yeah.
Overall, I think like he's still cute. He's still likable. He's still strong. the biggest difference I think that would be made is that if he still looked like he did during the Cell Saga, people would connect him to
With the Saiyan man.
yeah,
Yeah.
people would
Yeah.
connect him so much more quickly to the actual person who defeated Cell, the gold fighter, the golden warrior. And I think that might cause some interesting kerfuffle with his like social life and stuff. You might actually get like a more intense Gohan in high school scenario with him having to deal with all that stuff rather than it just being kind of sidelined in exchange for getting back to the fighting and the plot with Babidi and all the rest of that stuff, right, in the tournament. I don't think that, and I don't think that Videl would be turned off in any way by Gohan being short. I mean, like he's still like by the standards of Dragon Ball, he's still handsome. He's not somebody who's conventionally unattractive or anything like that. And what's more is one of the things that the two things that really attract Videl to Gohan are his ultra kind, gentle heart and his strength. Like he's smart, he's kind, he's gentle, he's loving, he's caring, and he's also just a total freaking badass. He's got all of that martial arts skill. He's the actual person who saved the world from Cell. Kind of stuff.
Like he was probably the most jacked 4-year-old on the planet.
Mm-hmm. I like the idea of Gohan being just a bit shorter than Videl, because then you have the girlfriend being taller than the boyfriend dynamic, which is always something that I like.
Oh, by the way, I am back. I have returned. I have dealt with the situation.
You have dealt with Kitela. Guys, a moment of silence for Kitela.
Alpha tried to kill Kitela.
Yeah. Oh no!
So I had to basically deal with a mouse. Yeah. Unfortunately, it had done its last chit.
He didn't fake it.
No,
he was actually.
He didn't fake it. Cadaverific. Yeah. Craig Twitchell, what if you weave the Black Star Dragon Balls into Revelation F? Oh man. That would involve going to Earth, and I don't think Frieza would be that malicious to use them. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and I don't know what would be the wish for Frieza.
Yeah, 10 centimeters taller.
Maybe to be fully organic again.
Maybe, but I think no. Frieza wants to stay partly robotic to remind himself of the journey he's been on. Yes, Jake. Alpha tried to usurp a god of destruction. That's what she did. Vandalia. What if instead of Super Saiyan 2, Gohan unlocked a God Key during the Cell fight? Well, if he had God Key, Cell wouldn't be able to follow his energy, and it would be a different kind of energy. So, it'll have a different plane of entirely. So, I think pretty much that would end up being Cell KO'd right there and then.
Well, yeah, because I mean, Cell wouldn't know how to approach Gohan, because since you have to be trained to sense God Ki, he would register this new burst of energy as more or less nothing from Gohan. He would probably even laugh about it, which means that he would be in that arrogant headspace of not knowing what he was dealing with, only to then just be like, done away with super quick.
Exactly. Precisely. Smash Ultra. What if DBZ are like X-Men? Saiyans have powers and want peace. Tuffles don't have powers and are scared of them and use weapons. I mean, I imagine probably at one time the Saiyans did want to coexist with the Tuffles, but the Tuffles were just so pig-headed, stubborn, and just would not budge on believing so. No, all Saiyans are bad and must die. The Saiyans basically just grew so impatient and bored of it, they just thought, all right, they need to die. So if at one time Saiyans were willing to work with them, but the Tuffles just didn't believe them, then I think that could work, like X-Men. Jesse Goff. What if slowly individual Z-fighters left as Goku and Vegeta's incompetence continually put Earth in danger, like Ten Shinhan and all that did in Good Nappa. Oh, Ten Shinhan and Chaozu did in Good Nappa. I imagine probably Well, the thing is, though, they don't, because, you know, people still recognize them as characters, and they are merchandise and stuff like that. And they are willing to... But if they actually understood it would be a big bombshell if after the Moro Saga, Krillin actually had a heart-to-heart with Goku and said, what the hell, Goku? Why were you doing that? You put us in danger.
Yeah.
If they had that talk, that would be a real moment of reality and, like, gravity towards the show.
Have there be consequences? That's ultimately what it boils down to. Wouldn't it be nice if there were some consequences for Goku and Vegeta's rampant arrogance and stupidity at times?
Yeah, that would be great. More of that, please. Thanks.
Yeah.
Craig Twitcher, what if you weave God Key into Super Saiyan 4 Ranch and it outshines Vegeta? Well, who's to say that Super Saiyan 4 Ranch doesn't outmatch Vegeta already? And I honestly, the thing is, though, they chose Super Saiyan 4 not to go down the God Key route. The Goten did. Trunks and Ranch went that way to appease Vegeta.
Well, and also just because they wanted to kind of stay true to that portion of their Saiyan heritage, you know, it was something that appealed to them because of the way that they were raised, you know, because Ranch's father's Raditz, Trunks' father is Vegeta, which means that they have a more intense connection to the past that is and was the Saiyans and the legacy of that, you know, whereas Goten being the child of Goku, who acknowledges very little from his Saiyan heritage and stuff like that. Like it works that he would choose to go down the path of like Super Saiyan Blue and God Key and stuff like that instead.
Exactly. Sam Hannes says his ideas for Ultra Instinct candidates would be Frieza and Piccolo. Piccolo, yeah, definitely.
Piccolo.
Yeah, Piccolo, no doubt.
Yeah, Piccolo would be a good choice.
Yeah, Gobi, a Scouser Black. What do you think of it? Quite a colour. In keeping with the odds to label the power levels, the name of this one? Rose. That's right. And you've now reached Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black. Ace.
Every time.
Every time.
It gets to me every time.
Yeah.
Oh, they do though, don't they though?
It's gotten to this point where like I was talking to some friends the other day about what a modern what Dragon Ball Super would be like if it was abridged. And I actually got onto the subject of, I know that they did a couple of little, I know that you guys did a couple of little short clips on Twitter back when like the Goku Black arc was airing and stuff like that. But I was like, no, after experiencing the Scouse Goku Black, I that's what I would want for the abridged series Goku Black.
And Goku would be like, why is he talking like that? And Zamasu would be like, I don't know. Let's roll with it.
Something happened in the body transference, left a few wires crossed.
Yeah. Alright, sharp jumping auras. What if DragonBallZ was turned into a musical? What type of music do you think that each character would sing when the spotlight was on them? I think Goku would be good with the Charleston. Good with the Charleston, like, yeah, big band type of thing. Vegeta would be rock. Broly would definitely be heavy metal.
Yeah.
Frieza would be, like, orchestral.
And
Ballad. Ballad. A good ballad for him.
I feel like Piccolo would be more operatic with a lot of heavy brass, you know, considering the Piccolo theme.
Yes. Craig Twitchell, what if Cell got clairvoyance? Well, I'd have to play the sound because he'd be able to see every person's turn and all that.
I can see the future.
I can see the future, and it's going my way.
Kirby163. What if Vegeta didn't become Super Saiyan until Trunks was killed? Honestly, I was surprised that he didn't become Super Saiyan 2. Honestly. Like...
I think his self-esteem was too crushed at this point.
Yeah, probably. I think if his fortitude was stronger, that would have been a Super Saiyan 2 moment.
Yeah.
But if that had become... I mean, that would have been a bit late to the party, but... I guess it would have been a poignant moment, but then it would have been completely cheapened by Cell suplexing him out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trays in the Infinite. Could we have a Q&A with Good Frieza? Just an idea I thought of. I mean, we certainly could do like an end of season stream talking about Revelation F. Yeah,
And
maybe like
free Q&A.
Yeah, maybe what we could do is that before the premiere of episode 12, we can like have a stream and we can like show all the different past episodes from season 1.
Ooh, that would be nifty.
Yeah, that could be good.
We can give you some spicy lore details.
Yeah.
Live in the episode, but not used.
All right, Toady Terrence. What if Broly and Cooler were introduced in Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball are super different arcs, leading to a later on arc in Jupiter?
We had that.
Oh, we did have that. It was just a repeat. So, I guess can you summarize it, Hav?
Yeah. So, to shorten up, it really like it. They would have to survive if they teamed up. Cooler would be the brains, Broly would be the brawn, basically, and I think Cooler would be smart enough to use Broly against Z Fighters.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing too is depending upon whether or not this is Cooler's first entry into the series or not. If you're gonna recognize whether or not you recognize the past movies and stuff like that. If Cooler doesn't know what shapes a Super Saiyan, then it would be a bit of a different approach to how he interacts with Broly, because Cooler would definitely have a different approach to Frieza than Frieza does in Dragon Ball Super Broly, for example.
Yeah.
I also think that Cooler would probably. I feel like Paragus didn't get a whole lot of use in Broly, and ultimately Frieza figured out like if I kill this guy, it'll trigger an emotional response in Broly to make him go Super Saiyan. But Paragus is an interesting concept there as well, because if you include Paragus in Cooler's army, you have to wonder, would he be able to bring anything to the table when it comes to like the Saiyan approach to training or the Saiyan approach to military tactics and stuff like that? How would the dynamic shift? I feel Cooler would get a lot more strategic use out of both Paragus and Broly before he guns it towards say like the Z Fighters. Like Frieza gets Broly, and then like immediately it's like, well, I want to get those Dragon Balls, so I'm gonna take you guys with me so that you can deal with the Saiyans. It's like no. Cooler gets Broly and Paragus on board, and he's like, fantastic, I now have a weapon that I can deploy against all those planets that I want under my control instead of under Frieza's control or instead of Free. And I think the first person he would deploy Broly against would be Frieza.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt.
Hey,
all right.
brother, catch.
Oh. All right, with that, we are done for another week. So all that remains to be said is thank you so much, Sophie and Hav, for your hard work.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
And thank you all out there for your kind support and generosity, as well as your cool ideas. So all that we just hope to do is we look forward to seeing you again very soon. Next episode of Revelation F is coming out next week. And the next What If is What If Goku Defeated Roshi Part 10 coming out tomorrow.
Woo-hoo!
So for that, if you wish to check out the archive of the stream, you can go to martico.cc/podcast. It's the pinned message up top. Subscribe there and you will see it hopefully either tomorrow or Sunday. So you can catch up with this. So again, everybody, thank you so much for your time and effort. All that needs to be said is goodbye, everybody, and have a good night. Goodbye.
Bye.